Hey, good to see you guys. Oh, boy, what a beautiful morning, huh? I apologize to you all out there that are eating sparks and smoke and all that. I really didn't think about it. I looked them up, and that wind was blowing, and pretty soon me and Joe was getting burnt out there by side greeting y'all because it was blowing so hard out through there. But I think we'll be good as long as ain't nobody leaking no gas out there and all that. So it'll get exciting, won't it? So yeah. And if anybody sees anything on fire, just stomp it out. So and I don't know who's flying the drones, but thanks. I hope it's somebody here. It might be a day it ain't, but today it is. So I appreciate that. That ought to make for some good pictures. It did mess me up on my routine peeing on Derek's tires usually because I was a little worried if somebody might be spying on me doing that. So anyways, that pours me into, yeah, if anybody needs to go 10-100 or definitely 10-200, the Johnnies are on the crappers are here on the west side of the shop. So most guys know it, but new guys here may not. So anyways, Johnnies are over there, so use those. Who are our new guys this morning? I ain't gonna, yeah, Blaine, you get up and speak. So, hey, good to have you new guys. Appreciate you coming out. I appreciate you guys taking the chance and taking that invite from your buddy. Got some guys, I don't know if they ever got hooked up, had met on Mackinac Island. And we're on vacation, and somewhere or another ended up Christ-Coffee-Campfire came up in a conversation. Huh? Yeah, if y'all heard that. From Odessa, one guy's from Higginsville, so that's a pretty cool deal. So kind of word's getting out and getting around, isn't it? So anyways, good to have you guys here, and appreciate most of all. Like I always say too, I appreciate the new guys or the old dogs that invited those new guys to come out and going out there and fishing for men. That's how this whole deal worked out, got going. Christ Coffee Campfire originally was, there was just 12 of us. And I don't want to say just 12. There was an important 12 guys that showed up to that deal the first time. And we'll figure out what the number is here unless you know now.
We got it. It's 165. Really?
165 guys today. Yep. So that's the guys that got tickets anyways. 165 of you. If you did not get a ticket, we'll do some giveaway stuff here in a minute. So Noah's got tickets up here, so slide on up here and get you one if you want. But anyways, that's that multiplication. You guys being bold and going out there and sharing Christ with somebody else and inviting them to something like this. That's I used to say way too early in the morning. And I know a lot of you guys would probably say the same thing too, but it shows your heart to want to come out and join in something like this. Some of you guys are getting up at probably way earlier than I am to get out here, and we appreciate that and just spreading that out and coming out and checking this deal out. So. I will on the hat deal. We always give away a couple hats. I got some coffee here. The coffee you guys are drinking is from Lord Christian Church. Art and Tim and all them guys up there. They started donating us some coffee for this deal, so we really appreciate that. And I got a small bag of coffee here that we'll give away as well. So, and then Bruno's got a CD here. Old music CD, so it's pretty good. He's a good singer, so appreciate that. So I will, with that being said, I'll start out. Okay, so 6:04 to 7:37. How about 6:15? 6:15. You got 6:15? Nice, Caden. So hey, there's one of our sound guys, and I can't believe I didn't already get you a hat, but you can have whatever you want. So first choice. So yeah, on that, and Joe always hits on it, but we got these sound guys that have hooked us up with this big old speaker system and all this and our mics so you guys can hear. Joe and I always say it, if it had been up to us and we were still in charge of all this, we'd just yell louder. And we may have upgraded to one of them bullhorn things and it went really redneck, but luckily we got guys that are way smarter than us that showed up and said, "Hey, we want to help out," and this is the way they've helped out. And Caden's one; he came on here 2 or 3 months ago and started helping us out. So really grateful. Many hands make light work. And Caden, you really helped us out. So appreciate that. How about I'll go over to the other side. So how about 370? 370. 370.
Young man back to back.
All right. Deal. You probably want a bag of coffee, don't you? There you go, brother. You bet. You bet. So, and it's always good to see these young men, see your dads and your grandpas bringing out your boys and grandsons and showing them something that a lot of us probably didn't see when we was growing up in their age, to see a bunch of men gathering together for Christ. And man, it's encouraging. It's encouraging to me to see this. So all right. How about 700? Go straight 700. 700. I need an auctioneer up here.
There he comes.
There he is. All right. I got coffee or a CD here for you. Either one. There we go. Perfect. Huh? Coffee guy. All right. Last one. How about we'll get one of the late ones for Bruno's CD. 390. 390. All right. Oh, yeah, there you go. All right. Another young man. Over here, bud. I don't have him do the hat. Hey, you probably need another hat. You probably listen to a hat rather than a CD, or you want a CD. I'll let you, whatever you want.
I'll take a CD.
Perfect. There you go, bud. Awesome. Awesome. So last but not least, we will be eating later after Jeff gets done talking. We'll do communion and all that, and then afterwards we'll eat. So raccoons got into my chicken, so and kind of wreaked havoc there for a couple nights until I took care of it. So we're a little shorter on eggs, but I think there's plenty of food there. And Joe picked up some donuts for us. Dorothy Diamond from Concordia is still getting us hooked up with a bunch of donuts. So there's plenty of food up here. So after we get done talking, first guy through the line is take them lids off if you would and slide them underneath the table there behind Jim on that tote and help yourselves and plenty of coffee. So I think we're good. Yeah, might be raccoon gravy. So, and possum gravy.
No promises about what's in the food, right? Morning, guys. All right, so here we go. For the sake of the new guys, like I say every time, come over here and see our table. We tried to build some stuff to put some resources in your hands so that you can invite some guys out, right? How many of you guys have had somebody ask you about the hats, ask you about the cups? It works, right? And so it's a door opener is all it really is. It's a pass through for us. We've had people just like the tech guys or whoever, the parking guys, that have just come to us and said, "Hey, we want to help. How can we help?" And so that's what all this is. It's just a pass through. It's a way to put things in your hands to help. Okay, so there's a card up here. It looks like I need to set out some more. It's got Scott and I's number on it. Guys, listen, if you have stuff, if you have things that you need just to talk to somebody, or, we don't know everything, but we know guys that have been through almost everything at this point. And so we can hook you up with some really great guys. We doing all right? Yep. Okay. So the point is to invite guys out here. Use our numbers if you need to. If we need to talk to somebody or make a phone call, we'd be more than happy to do that. One of the big things that we support is Men's Encounter. and we've got a couple opportunities coming up. Jack and the guys at BSCC, that's where Scott and I met 10 years ago almost. I was just thinking about that. This October will be 10 years that he and I met, and we've been fishing buddies ever since. And so here we are. Uh, if you're interested in going to it, you want to know anything, ask any questions about it, let us know, please, because it's an awesome vehicle. We call it a vehicle, right? Christ-Coffee-Campfire is a vehicle. It's a way of hooking guys up, giving them an opportunity to come out and see that, they're not going to get hit in the head with the Bible. We're just going to love on you and ask you to be a part of this. So anyway, come see us because we'll be going. Well, here's the dates right here. And by the way, this is your guys' message board. So if you've got Christ-centered events that you'd like to share with the guys, uh, feel free. There's a marker here. Come up here, write everything down, give them information, give them phone numbers so they can call you. But we do have Jackson Counter. We call it Jackson Counter. We call him Captain Jack. I'm gonna get him a hat one of these days. Uh, November 6th through 8th, and of course, the sooner the better, so that they're prepared. Men's Encounter down in Lebanon will be in October 16th through 18th. And so we're going to try to take some down there. One's big, one's not so big. So whatever you're comfortable with, they're both awesome. Okay, so that's whiteboard notifications. Again, thank you to our guys that help us with this, from the parking all the way to the tech guys, to the people hooking us up with food, to Jenny making biscuits for us. I was over here last night. She said, I finally got the biscuits done. And so it's a big help because we couldn't do this. This thing, as you can see, if you just look around, has kind of blown up. Wasn't our plan, but evidently it was God's plan. And so we've got guys coming from all over. I don't know where Brian Lewis is. He's probably hiding around here somewhere. But boys, I was going to call him out this morning just for fun, right? Because he come all the way from Wyoming. He come here for other reasons, but we made him stay. Okay, and so guys, come visit this. If you're interested in shirts, we got it all divvied up to where you can put your money. It's pretty obvious. The only thing, it's all on the honor system. So except for, well, it's actually on the honor system too. But these shirts, they're size specific. So there's a green form right there. Fill that out. Put your money in the appropriate box. Just paper clip it to that so that I can get that. Because usually how it works is once we get it, I'll put in an order and we should have it the next time. So you get to come back, right? If you have previously ordered, come over here and visit the steps because I got your name on there and I write paid or owed. So if you don't have money today and you want a shirt, put in the order and take care of it next time when you come back. Just put the money in the box. So with that being said, when we do this on Saturdays, a lot of times Scott and I will get together and we'll just talk about what's coming, what the day's going to bring. And we like to lean on you guys just a little bit on something. So just by a quick show of hands, how many of you guys know somebody that would benefit from this? Okay, that's a lot of hands. So next month, here's what we want you guys to do, right? We're called to go and make disciples and be fishers of men. And so we're going to ask you guys to lean into that. And how we're going to do that is we're going to try to have like a +1 month or +10, whatever. Fish, go fish. Get some guys to come out here. Maybe, if you can't get a guy, don't not come because you didn't get a guy. Come anyway. But let's really lean into this for next month if we can. I just want to give you guys some encouragement, like somebody fished somebody that fished you. And that's your task now. God's put that on us. And so let's go get them, right? Bring your +1 or 2 or 5 or whatever it is. And just let's go. Get them involved and give them an opportunity to come to know what God's done for you and see it. So with that being said, yes. One more. Hang on.
You good?
Yeah.
Nate was wanting to, going along with your +1, we
Oh, okay.
may run into we plan on running into the issue of getting Slim and parking out there. So Nate and these guys, like we said, these guys that are helping us out, Nate's kind of our head guru, our head traffic control guy. And I knew when he was walking the driveway, he had something to say. So y'all hear him out, and I will try to keep him calm. And I'll clean up anything you may say afterwards. But it's important.
So, Paul chapped the deacons to take care of the physical needs while the elders led the spiritual. And we got some guys tapped to help with parking group. I don't stand out there in the end of the driveway to be pretty. Stop and ask which direction. We got 165 people here today. Everybody brings one, that's over 300 people. Yeah. We gotta be able to park. The guys with the lights and the vests, they're trying to help you get parked safely, squarely, and be able to get more people here. So stop and listen where we tell you to go. Don't just go flying by, and listen to the guys that are trying to park you. It's frustrating. They're here to help, not here to make your life miserable. But it's kind of like going to the Chiefs game. Listen to the parking guys. And I'm excited to hear Jeff, so I don't want to take away from that. I'm glad you're all here, but
Yeah.
listen, please.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Well, that's relevant, guys. Sometimes we got to be herded a little bit, right? So don't take that the wrong way. We just want to get everybody in here safely and back out of here safely. And so, yeah, thank you, Nate, for what you're doing and stuff and keeping them.
Sorry if I come off mad,
We won't hold it against you.
I told you when we need
I ain't saying that out loud.
Yeah,
No.
maybe we need Chip out there directing traffic. The old highway patrol. He does like it.
He'll get it done.
Well, like I said, it's just to get everybody in here safe and to get enough of them. I said to somebody, I said, if they start parking on the road, somebody will think it's an auction and they'll come walking down that driveway thinking they're going to buy something. They might get more than that.
Well, our next option is to move on out in the front yard, and you all know how I feel about my front yard. So it is not completely off limits, because if God brings them, we'll park them. But if you all got to be more efficient in your parking out there, I think a good goal for everybody pulling in the driveway is tell Nate or William or any of these guys parking good morning. That'll cause you to roll your window down, tell them good morning,
There you go.
and then it gives them opportunity to tell you where to go. So,
Fantastic.
thank you, Nate, and I do appreciate you guys helping out with parking. So,
Yep.
with that, we will shut up and we'll move it over to Jeff. And super excited, not only because he's one of my Holden buddies. He was a couple years behind me in high school, maybe. Yeah, maybe one. So, anyways, funny deal how he ended up out here and some of the ties, but super excited to have him here, and I know a couple other guys that are excited to see him up there. So with that, I'll shut up and let him take over.
Thank you, fellas.
Thank you, Jeff.
This thing's on? I don't have to do anything? All right. Man, this is awesome, fellas. This is really cool. Scott, Joe, man, the spirit is working double time out here on YY Highway, fellas. They say that when you're nervous, you get up in front of a group of people like this, you're supposed to imagine them in their underwear, but I think if Doug was sitting in a Speedo, I'd be more nervous. So I think we'll be all right. Let's get this over with real quick. All the guys, encounter guys, let's hold them up. Let's see how many we got out here. Everybody, get them up. Let them show everybody. Man, I thank God every day that He led me to this ministry. It's been unbelievably fulfilling in my life. If you guys have not been to Encounter, you guys heard it from them, but get on the bus. Don't hesitate. Wherever you're at in your spiritual walk, it will be amazing. The guys at the Avenue, all my brothers from church, man, I'm so glad you guys all came out. This is awesome. The Spirit is moving in our little church, and we're going to have to set up a tent for an overflow if we don't get that building built soon. So Tyler, our pastor's willingness to speak the truth is really refreshing. Even when it's uncomfortable, he just dives right into it. So You know, that's one thing in my life. The truth is something I've always pursued, you know, whether it be work, relationships, government, politics, aliens. Man, just tell me the truth. I can handle it. I promise you. The truth has led me to this book right here. It's the only thing that makes sense in this world that we live in. So, and the guys at the Standing in the Gap, you boys back here, I was hoping some more that you guys would be out here, but I'm going to get choked up before I even get started. Rob and Jordan, Dan, you guys, all those boys, man, I want to know I want you guys to know how much joy it brings me worshiping with you guys every Friday night. Just a bunch of guys. If anybody, you guys are ever want to be a part of a spirit-filled service, you come to Nazarene Church on Friday night on Warrensburg, celebrate recovery. You got a bunch of guys with checkered past, loving on each other, lifting each other up, praying for each other, hands in the air, singing as loud as they can. Man, it is amazing. If you guys ever want to just witness it, it is unbelievable. And it's just, I love you guys. What's going on? And I was going to save this for the end. I'm going to go ahead and say it right now. There's a lot of good things going on in recovery ministries right now. What Joe Hubbard and the Standing in the Gap guys are doing, discipleship program. I was in a similar program in Olathe. It's called New Creations. Our brother Justin, I don't know where you're at, Justin. I think he was in one called the Embassy in Sedalia. And our brother Joseph here, he's not here this morning, but the Regeneration Project in Lee Summit. There is so much good things going on in recovery ministries right now. And you know, I went to 2 30-day inpatient treatments in my life, and more court-ordered rehab than you can imagine. I guess you guys are going to get to see where my testimony is going here. I'm just kind of spilling the beans, but and I'm not trying to take away from rehab because it may help somebody, but and you can learn some things about yourself, triggers and whatnot, maybe why you've done these things, but never not once did any of those places tell me I needed to follow Jesus. Never not once. So I think everybody around here knows without him, there cannot be no full restoration, full recovery. So if you got somebody in your life or if you were struggling, and it's not just drugs and alcohol, it could be, there's a multitude of things that keep us from a relationship with him, but check it out. Don't hesitate. Just, if you got somebody in your life out there drinking and doping and running amok, robbing and stealing, maybe our prayers need to be different. Pray that man gets locked up. Pray that man gets put in a 6x8 with a righteous man. We've been in that cell, right, Rob? That guy's just chirping in your ear about Jesus 24/7 when you can't escape it. Ooh, man, I messed up. There's some guys that I'm thinking about right now. But let's bow our heads real quick before we get started. One thing real quick. One thing. I got 2 guys I want to congratulate. Ryan, my brother, friend and coworker, I don't know where he's at. There he is. Him and his wife Jolie are getting ready to have a baby any day. First one, so let's give him a round of applause. He did a good job. I suggested that they name the baby Amos Moses, but I don't think Mama's going to go for that. Brian, I'm glad you're here. I've been trying to get this guy out here for a year, fellas, so holler at him. And my Uncle Jack, where you at, Jack? The only guy that I know to retire from the same job twice. And I was thinking about it. If you guys are on his email thread or text chain, you better get a second data plan because he's retired now. So you better look out. It's going to be coming. I love you, man. I'm happy for you. Let's bow our heads. Dear Heavenly Father, I thank you for today. I thank you for this moment. I thank you for the opportunity to be a witness to these men, a witness of your love, your salvation, grace, your mercy. I want to pray for the Anderson family that baby comes out happy and healthy. And Mama has no complications. I want to pray for my Uncle Jack as he's getting ready to walk into a new season of his life. I pray for the fruit. If you guys know, you know. I pray for the fruit that man will bear. I just ask for guidance, wisdom, and discernment for everybody here. And we're doing this all for you, Lord. All for your glory. In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen. So, as I alluded to earlier, I struggled with drug addiction for 25 years of my life, off and on. You would imagine that somebody that was born into a family of people that drink, more than likely they're going to drink, or somebody that was around people that used growing up, they'd use. Well, that's not my story. I come from a solid family. My mom and dad are still married today. My dad's a hard-working blue-collar man. My mom, stay-at-home mom. I had everything that I needed and most of the things I wanted as a youngster. So for me to go down that path, it made no sense. But it was one of those things that go around the recovery tables you hear about. Two guys could go to a college party for the first time and try cocaine. One of them gets up and goes to class the next day. The other one goes out and looks for more cocaine. You just never know. You never know. I've got an addictive personality, whatever it is. Women, drugs, gambling, food, gym, Jesus, whatever it is, I'm usually all in. So I figure if I stick with gym and Jesus, I'll be okay. But I started smoking weed at the age of 15. I tried meth for the first time at the age of 16. Caught my first felony drug conviction at the age of 19. Did a 120-day shock program at Boonville Correctional Facility. 23, 20. I think I turned 24 in there. That didn't do any good. I just came out of there thinking I was King Dingling. I just had more drug connections. But my early 20s were plagued with drugs, meth, weed, pills, coke. It didn't matter. Whatever you got, I was in. It was like I was just, every day it was a little bit more. It's trying to level up. It's like that Guns N' Roses song. You do a little bit more, a little bit more, you know. But it was just debauchery, really. And I was living in Westport with my girlfriend at the time, future wife, future ex-wife, and she came to me and told me she was pregnant. And I remember that day we were both so tickled to death. There's a result of that standing right out there, Ross. But we both came to the logical conclusion it was time to grow up. It's time to move past. We lived wild and free, and well, we weren't free. That's not true. But we were living wild, and so we moved back to my hometown. I went back to work for my old man at his drywall business, and we got married. She had Ross. She finished her college degree. My dad eventually retired. I took over his drywall business. Life was good. I had all the worldly things a man could want. I had a sexy wife. We built a brand new house, 2 brand new vehicles in the driveway. I had a thriving business. My son was healthy. Like I said, I had all the worldly things a man could want, except for the one thing a man needs more than anything is a relationship with him. And I'm not saying I wasn't a believer, but I believed in myself a whole lot more than I believed in him. And that is a dangerous game, fellas. Let me tell you. So like I said, we were good. Vacations, everything. Like I said, we were living on top of the world, the American dream. And I ran into an old drug acquaintance one day, and I smoked some meth with that man. It was like I was right back in it, like I never stopped. I had like 9 years without any hard drugs. I don't want to say I was sober because I drink once in a while, smoke a little weed once in a while during that time, but the hard drugs I hadn't been using. So everyday use, like I had never stopped. And I can remember my wife begging and pleading with me to stop. Man, you couldn't tell me nothing, man. My ego was as big as this barn. I can do what I want. I'm making money. Everything's good. Well, things just spiraled out of control more and more. We started fighting. We both cheated on each other. It just got toxic. I don't want to go into a lot. I mean, I've got stories for days, but I know you guys are probably getting hungry. But so we decided we're going to sell the house and separate. And during that time, man, that was the darkest season of my life, was when we separated. And I was just doing anything that I could do to distract myself from the hell that I created, gambling and strip clubs and women and just anything to take my mind off of what I was doing. And well, that lifestyle spirals out of control very quickly. And I got to the point where I was basically living on the streets of Kansas City, couch surfing from dope house to dope house, getting a hotel when I could afford it, jamming a needle in my arm 3 times a day just to feel normal. I hate talking about the old me, man. I am not that man anymore. I'll tell you what, I am definitely a new creation in Christ. But there's a few things that happened along the way during this darkest season. There was a couple. I'd been in like 2 car wrecks. I used to go so hard until I would just fall out. One time I ran into a parked car. I was going 50 miles an hour. Car was parked. I smacked in the back of it. I walked away unscathed. God was with me. Another time, same thing. I would be up for days, and I'd sideswipe 2 vehicles in a residential neighborhood. Nothing ever came of that. And I thank God every day that I never hurt anybody physically or killed anyone, because that was my motive. I would just drive like that. I would be out of my mind all the time like that. The last night that I was lost in the wilderness, if you will. Well, let me back up. So I was at a drug house, flop house, whatever you want to call it, South Kansas City. and we had just gotten a bundle, getting ready to be open for business, if you know what I mean. And normally in that situation, I would have been held up in this house for 3 days, shooting dope, selling dope, sleeping with women. And I used to sit in this little wooden chair right by the front door. I can see it right now. And something came over me. I heard a voice, and it said, "You get up and get the hell out of there." And I listened. I'm glad I did. I'll never forget that day. It was pouring down rain. I'm in a neighborhood I should not be in. I didn't even have a vehicle that time. The closest bus stop was 3 blocks away, but I knew I had to get up and get out of there. I got on the bus. That guy called me 30 minutes later and said, "This place just got shot up and a bullet went right through the chair that you were sitting in." It was a good thing I listened to that voice. And the last night I was lost in the wilderness. I was in Westport area, and I was at rock bottom. And I can remember I had no phone, no money, no car, no one to call. I was at my wit's end, and I knew there was a lady or a girl that I knew that worked at a hotel down in the plaza, and she'd always let me get something to eat when I came by. I was like, I'm just going to go down there, wait for the sun to come up. I'm going to get something to eat, and I'm going to figure out my next move. So I'm sitting at the big fountain at the plaza. I'm sure you all know what I'm talking about. Right there next to P.F. Chang's. 4 o'clock in the morning, just crying out, like, what can I do? I cannot live like this. To be honest, I didn't want to be here anymore. If I would have had a pistol, I probably would have done it. I did not want to be here. And just about that time, random stranger walks up to me, with a Bible in his hand, sits down next to me, starts talking to me, praying over me, worshiping, or just trying to talk to me. And he kept telling me I need to surrender. And I was like, you know what? This man's right. I got 3 warrants in 3 counties. I can't keep going like this. Well, he was telling me I needed to surrender to God, not the law. But then I didn't realize that until later on, that I actually was surrendering to God that night. But I went and turned myself in. I had 3 warrants in 3 counties. I owed Johnson County, Kansas, 90 days, probation violation in Jackson County, and a new felony case in Clay County. I knew I wasn't ready to go. I didn't have the strength to go to Jackson County. I had to go to the softest landing space first. If anybody's from Johnson County, I'm not trying to dog you about the soft comment there. So I went there, did 90 days. And I was, getting some word with some guys, and there was some seeds starting to plant. And my next stop was Jackson County. Now I'm not trying to, if any of you guys have ever been to Jackson County, it's a rough place. You better be ready to sleep with one eye open, if you know what I mean. If you end up on the 3rd floor of Jackson County downtown, it's tough. It's a rough place. So, and here I am. I ended up on the 3rd floor. And listen, this wasn't my first rodeo. I've been in all these places before. I knew what I was getting into. But I'll never forget walking down that corridor. The guard was walking me down that corridor. And I'm not trying to make this about race. I'm just trying to paint a picture. But the door swung open like the old Western movies, where like the saloon door opens and the music stops and everybody looks at me. I'm like, oh boy, I'm out of my element. I was the only white boy in that cell. And like I said, I'm not trying to make it about race, because that's not what it is. But it was like, these are like the young gang members. Why I ended up on the 3rd floor, I have no idea. I was only there for a couple of days, but I'll never forget, there was one guy in the back reading his Bible, and I could see the look on his face like, man, this guy doesn't stand a chance, man. He came walking up to me. And he's asking me, he's like, hey, you got a Bible? I said, no. He said, here, I got an extra. I want it back before you leave. He said, the Bible study's every day after lunch. I said, okay. The next midday, I'm in this man's cell with 3 other guys, and they're praying over me. I'm like, what? These 3 men are on trial for murder, and they are praying over me. These guys are looking at life in prison, and they're praying over me. So God was with me in that moment as well. Next stop, Clay County. I figured I'm going to prison. This was my 3rd felony at that time. More misdemeanors you can shake a stick at. The way I was living, I should have went to prison. I had the right mindset. I was like, I'm going to go to prison. I'm going to get out. I'm going to be a good father to my son. Well, God had other plans. They kept lowering my bond every month. I was like, they're going to let me out of here. And I'm like, I was scared to death, to be honest with you. I didn't trust myself. I was locked up about a year at this point, maybe 11 months. I did not trust myself because I knew what I was going to do. I was not ready to go back out to the streets yet. So along the way, I heard about this program called New Creations in Olathe. a discipleship program, sober faith-based living program. And that's why I've got such a big heart for these ministries when I was naming all that stuff. It really was my first step. It wasn't my first, but my step to a walk with Christ. So these programs, I'm telling you what, they're amazing. Like I said, Standing in the Gap, New Creations, the Embassy, Regeneration Project. But so something happened while I was out there that really kind of woke me up more than anything, is that every Sunday we would go to a different church. And this particular Sunday, this is a huge church. It must have been 1,000 people, and the biggest church I'd ever been into. And that preacher was talking directly to me that day. I was shook. I was crying. I was sweating. I could feel something trying to get a hold of me. And he had an altar call. I'm sure you all know what I'm talking about. Come forward if you're ready to submit your life to Christ, get more prayers. And I wanted to get up and go down there so bad, but I was not man enough to stand up and expose myself in front of that large crowd. And I got to back up because I didn't tell the main part of that. Let me slow down a little bit. So when I was a youngster, I had an uncle that had Down syndrome. And if you've ever been around somebody, it's really spent some time with them, you'll know what I'm saying. I'll try to explain a little bit that my Uncle Rick was a ball of pure joy. He was just always happy to see you, always quick to give you a hug, a high five, a handshake, always good. I don't know how to explain it unless you know. If you know, you know. But just a light. And my grandfather died when I was a young man, and my grandma and my Uncle Rick moved across the street from me. So as a youngster, I spent a lot of time with my Uncle Rick. Fast forward to New Creations, or that church. So, like I said, I wanted to go down there for the altar call. I didn't. So I'm sitting 4 seats in from the aisle, and here comes this teenage boy with Down syndrome. He clumsily stumbles past 4 people and grabs me by the hand and drags my ass up to the front. And I'm thinking, in this moment, I have no idea what that preacher was saying at that moment, to be honest with you. But in that moment, I was standing there with my Uncle Rick, and he was loving on me, high-fiving, giving me a hug. And it was just, I really truly believe it was Jesus Christ getting through my hard head the only way that he knew how, is to, I love you, I'm real, follow me. And I remember going back to my seat, and the people that I was with, and they were talking about, they said, "Do you know that guy?" I'm like, "No, I don't know who it was." So I was looking around for him the rest of the service and didn't see him. And so when the service ended and I went out of the lobby, I just wanted to say, hey, give him a hug and say thank you. I didn't see him. So I stood by that front door for 20, 30 minutes waiting for this kid to filter out. I never saw him. I'm not saying he wasn't there. I don't know if this is an angel, a story of divine intervention. I don't know. Maybe I'm not supposed to know. But it was real. I denied myself that for a while because as men, we tend to try to justify things we don't understand. To be honest with you, I thought the drugs had warped my brain so much that I was imagining it. But it was as real as I am standing here. And, I got out of that program. I got a job, got an apartment. Ross moved back in with me, and my son's been living with me for the last 6 years. So it has not been easy. I know that I kind of flatlined for a little bit spiritually. I was able to remain sober, but I let that thinking start to creep back in about, oh, I got this, I can handle it on my own. Man, that's not true. You fellas, we have to stay plugged into these groups, our small groups. It's so important to be, get in your church and not be afraid to step out of your comfort zone and maybe go to an encounter or, invite somebody out here. But I joined Avenue Church about 1.5 years, 2 years ago, and one of the guys, Kevin's not here, but invited me out here, and I did not. And then I run into my cousin Doug and my Uncle Jack, and they've been out here waiting for me the whole time. I didn't even know they were a part of this at that time. So it's almost like all my new brothers and my existing family, they were waiting for me the whole time. So But I went to the first encounter, and guys, I did not realize how much guilt and shame and regret that I was holding on to. I had that my sin like a dog on a leash, just chained up, keeping it at arm's distance. But not anymore, man. I let it all go. I let it all go. So, like I said, I know we talk about a lot about encounter, but it's changed. It's just changed my life 100%. I would like to read a few words. How much time I got left? Are we good? All right. From Philippians, just a few verses here, fellas. Philippians 4:10 through 13. I rejoice in the Lord greatly that now at length you have revived your concern for me. You were indeed concerned for me, but you had no opportunity. Not that I am speaking of being in need, for I have learned in whatever situation I am to be content. I know how to be brought low. I know how to abound in any and every circumstance. I have learned the secret of facing plenty of hunger, abundance, and need. I can do all things through him who strengthens me. So I want to kind of focus on the second part of 11 and first part of 12 there. For I have learned in whatever situation I am to be content. I know how to be brought low, and I know how to abound in every circumstance. Learning to be content is, well, I'd say a lot of us probably struggle with that. But when I say I lost everything, it's not an exaggeration. When I got out of that program, I lost my home, my family, my business. I literally had about 3 bags of clothes to my name. Thank God for my family, my mom and dad helping me out as far as, I was able to get a job quick, a little apartment, some hand-me-down furniture. Okay, I got everything I need, but that starting over in your 40s is a humbling experience, fellas. And it's that I've always had that hustle mentality, no matter what it is, if it's drugs or work, how am I going to turn this $500 into $1,000? That kind of mentality. Well, it's hard to break that kind of. And I'm sitting here thinking, I'm 40 years old, man. I got to make up for lost time. What am I going to do? How am I going to do this? I got $15,000 in credit card debt from my business. I had $10,000 I owed to state in restitution, and I'm working a $15 an hour job, slamming boxes in the back of a truck. I'm not trying to knock it. That job, everybody needs that. Every job needs to be done, but I'm just doing the math, and I'm thinking, this is not going to work. How am I going to do this? But learning to be content, and it is comforting that even Paul had to learn to be content. Of course, he's sitting in a jail cell when he wrote that book, so you better learn to be content. But just being able to sit back and just go one day at a time and stay plugged in, and I just look back at my spiritual walk. The people that he's put in front of me, the breadcrumbs that he's laid out before me to lead me out of the wilderness. And at this point in my life, I'm just standing by the edge of the woods with my arms raised, flashlight, come this way, please come this way. There's a better way. So, fellas, I don't know, I don't know where my story, what he's gotten planned for me, but I'm excited to find out. And I'm glad you guys are all here to listen to me. And I know Braden's probably getting hungry. Where you at, Braden? He's probably trying to get some biscuits. So here he is. All right, fellas. I appreciate you guys so much. Thank you so much.
All right, guys. Listening to Jeff Fair, some of you may have heard us say this before at different times. God, you can't heal what you hide. And so you're going to have to get real with him. And this whole thing, what Jeff has just shared, is a great example of others stepping in when he needed somebody to step in. And that's you for somebody, right? We all know somebody. You all raised your hands a while ago whenever we was saying, hey, let's do a +1 next month, right? This might be your opportunity. That might be their testimony standing up here someday saying, because of this guy who stepped up, stepped in, come alongside, and walked with me through this, that I'm here today and can share a story much like Jeff, right? And so, guys, it takes courage. It takes courage. It took courage for Jeff to do the things he did. It's going to take a little courage for you to step up and come up to that guy and approach him and make that difference for him. I mean, you can do this. God will flatten out the ground before you. So just go after it. One of the things that's very, very important to us that we've done out here ever since the beginning, and we will do every single time, is communion. And so communion, how that works out here is it's God's table. That's how we see it. And if you feel it's between you and God to take communion, then by all means, we're going to have stations set up. We've got some communion guys that are going to go back here. They've got it all prepared for you. Thanks to these guys, see, there's so many hands in this behind the scenes that participate. And so we're really grateful for them. They're going to set up different stations, and you guys just get up and go to them. And when everybody's served, we'll take off from there. Listen, guys, something we forgot to mention earlier. I forgot to mention. We usually do. If you see a guy with a red lanyard, listen. Prayer is important, right? And we're made to walk together with one another. And so, oftentimes, hey, you want a bold step of faith? Ask a guy to pray for you and with you. We got guys here. If you see a guy with a red lanyard on him, that's what they're here for. So don't hesitate. Don't deny yourself. Don't stand in fear. Don't let the enemy hold you back. Just walk up to them. These guys, that's what they want to do. They want to pray for you and with you. And so if you've got some stuff that you'd like to have some prayer for, by all means. These guys are approachable, promise. And you're not going to surprise them with anything. You know, everybody here has a story, right? Everybody here has a story. And so, with that being said, guys, when we do communion, it's an opportunity for you, really, as much as anything. It's an opportunity for you to just consider what He's done for us, for you individually, and for all of us, really. And so, the bread, it represents His body broken for us, right? Broken for us. Consider that. Just think about what He's done for us. He took the place of you. He made a propitiation, a payment that satisfies for you. So if you wonder whether you're worth it, you are. Bread, broken body for you. Let's take and eat. Likewise, in the same manner, His blood is poured out for us, each and every one of us. His sacrifice in your place. Let's take and drink. Galatians 5:1 says it's for freedom that Christ sets us free. It's freedom. Stand firm. Don't let yourselves be burdened again by that yoke of slavery, that bondage of freedom that holds on to us sometimes, tries to creep back into our lives. Don't allow that, guys. You bow your heads, let's pray. Father, thank you for these men. Sometimes for some, it's just a bold move just to come out here to something like this, not knowing what it is or who's going to be here or how they're going to be received. Lord, I just pray that each one of them knows that this is a safe place for them to be. They've got brothers here. They've got people here that will walk with them. Lord, I'm sure there's somebody, probably more than one here, that are wondering if it's for them, that are wondering if you are for them. And so, God, I just pray right now that you place people in their life, place people that will walk alongside them, even just today, and visit with them, encourage them. And Lord, I just pray that as they leave here, they have safe travels when they go home. And God, I just pray that they're attentive to you, that they open their heart and consideration and their mind, that you're reaching and you're trying to get their attention, Lord. I'm just thankful for this thing that you have created that we call Christ-Coffee-Campfire. I'm thankful for the salvation you've offered us so freely, God. I just pray over the food that it nourishes us, and that over the food we can have a lot of good fellowship. God, I just thank you for this day, and we thank you for all that you've done for us, and we give all the glory to you in Jesus' name. Amen.